Hi, Coach Chevy Allen here from Get Gritty Cowgirl. And in this horsemanship life coaching lesson, we're going to be talking about life balance, specifically how to find your balance. We're going to start out this lesson with a quote. Balance isn't fitting everything in. It's starting with what's important and letting the rest fall as it will. This is from life coach Erica Lane. So let's think about what is balance. And for this topic, we're talking about your life balance, how you balance all of the things that you need to do within your life. So not necessarily your ability to balance on your horse. This isn't horsemanship riding balance. This is your life balance. And when we think about that, balance isn't about spending the same amount of time in all areas of our life. If we think about it, nothing is a problem because of the amount of time we spend doing it. It's only a problem if the amount of time we spend takes away from other important aspects of our life and if it drains us. So a balanced life is when you're doing the things that feed your body, mind, and soul, as well as doing the things that expend energy. These are the have to do things. So when we think about it, balance is about energy, not time. Now, you probably have experienced what happens when your life is out of balance. I'm a busy mom. I have a full-time day job, 2 kids, a farm. I like to ride. I'm learning to rope. I have a lot of horse things that I like to do right now. We have our cattle to take care of every day. We have a lot of demands. We have a lot of things on our plate. And if I don't do a good job balancing out all of the things in my life, I definitely notice some of the costs of being out of balance. I'm not as patient. My health isn't as good. Relationships suffer. Self-esteem, don't sleep as well. You may have money issues, family challenges. You might have a hard time making decisions because you're overwhelmed by everything going on. You're probably not as creative when you're stressed out. You're not as good of a team player. And then the mental health impacts. And basically, just being a stressed out person is not any fun. So we want our lives to be as balanced as possible. And to kind of do an assessment to figure out where your life is balanced right now, we're going to do the Wheel of Life exercise. So there is a workbook that goes along with this exercise that you can print, or if you don't have a printer, sketch out this little diagram on a piece of paper or in a notebook. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill out the wheel by marking your current level of satisfaction in each of these areas of your life. So there's your physical environment, your career and finances, family, significant other and romance, friends and social life, health, recreation, and personal growth. Now you might be asking, why aren't my horses one of these sections here? And I thought a lot about that while I was putting this Wheel of Life exercise together and kind of waffled back and forth on, do I have the horses be their own section or not? And I decided not to have them be their own section. Because if you're like me and you're here and you're watching this, you're probably a very dedicated horse person. You're watching this because horses are a part of your life. They're part of your identity. They're part of who you are. Your horses are interwoven in every single one of these categories. So having its own section didn't really make much sense because the horses are impacted by all these different categories. What you do with your horses impacts the other areas of your life. Your other areas of your life impact your horsemanship. So when you're filling these out, think about how in each of these categories, including how your horses are impacted in that as well. So fill this little thing out by marking your current level of satisfaction. You can fill it in or draw a little line, whatever works for you. You don't have to color code it. I just did it so it was easier to see in this diagram. And your wheel might look something like this, where you have some areas that are higher in the satisfaction level and some areas that are lower in the satisfaction level. So think about if your wheel was the wheels on your car, would it be a smooth ride? Most of the time, people are ending up with an uneven wheel, where we focus more on certain areas of our life at the expense of others. Sometimes people end up with really small wheels, and this would be kind of a slow car when you're not living up to your potential. You might be more balanced. You might have a similar level of satisfaction in all areas of your life, but it's going to be a small wheel, slower car, not living up to that potential. Now, ideally, what we would want would be to be rolling on large, smooth wheels. Caveat here, nobody's wheel ever looks perfect. You're never going to be able to get all those areas perfectly even and be maximized up to the edge. It's normal for us to have wheels with different levels in each category. So go back to your wheel, and for the lower satisfaction areas, maybe mark with a dot where you would want that area to be in your life. So if there are areas that you would like to improve, mark where you would like to see that area of your life rise to. So for example, here on mine, my health little bar there is a little bit lower than I would like it to be. So I put the little dot a little further out. And as you're thinking about this, I want you to imagine what it would be like if that area of your life improved. So for me, if my health area improved, I wouldn't be sore after riding my horse a couple of days in a row. My arm wouldn't hurt after a really long roping practice. I would be more flexible. I would be stronger. My back wouldn't hurt the next day. There's a lot of ways that my physical health and strength could be improved. And this area of my life is important to me because it's going to improve my abilities as a rider. I'm going to be overall more healthy. I'm going to have more stamina. I'm going to be able to do more things. And then also think about what are some things that would help you to be more balanced in that area. So there's definitely things that I can do to improve my health, my strength, my physical fitness. I can do stretches. I could really easily look up a couple yoga videos and do a couple of things there to improve my core strength. I could get more cardio. I mean, we have a stationary bicycle in the living room that has a layer of dust on it. I could definitely be using that to be able to build up some of my fitness levels. I just need to find the time to do it. And that brings up the next thing. Because if you're like me, you're probably thinking, but Chevy, now what? Now I have more to do. I already don't have enough time. That's why my life is out of balance. I don't have time to go to yoga class every week. I don't have time to do X, Y, Z. I'm already overwhelmed and stressed. And I totally get it. I feel the same way. So let's talk about time management. So this is an example. A college professor did this, where brought in a glass full of water and asked, is this glass full? Most of the class said yes. So he added some sand to the glass and asked, how about now? Is this glass full now? And we're like, yep, it's pretty full. Then he added some pebbles to the glass. How about now? Is the glass full now? We're like, yep, don't think you can really add much more. Well, then he had a couple of big rocks that he added to the glass, and the glass started to overflow. Now, I'm sure that for you, your horses are a big rock, something that's really, really important that we want to fit into that glass. However, if you're like me, you've probably had the case where there just simply wasn't room for your big horse rock to fit in your glass. There may be times in your life where your horses have had to take a back burner because there just simply wasn't enough room to fit that in. Now, what if instead we filled our glass differently? What if instead we put the big rocks in first? So those most important things, those time-limited things in our cup, the things that are crucial to us. So we put our horse time in there. We put, obviously in here, you're thinking, okay, what are the things that we have to do that are time-limited? We have to do things during a certain time. So like our jobs, there are things that you have to do from this time to this time, at this time, on these days, very specific, very scheduled. These are hard and fast things we must do. The most important things. And we schedule those things first. Then we fill in the little rocks. These are the things that we must do. These are scheduling in our household chores. These are scheduling in taking the kids to practices or school events, doctor's appointments, things that we have to do. Schedule those in. Those are the little rocks. We fill our cup up next with that. Then we add in the sand. These are other tasks that we have to do, but they're not time limited. They're flexible. We can move them around. This can be like doing our household chores. It can be, other tasks that we have to do, but we can be flexible about when we do it. It's really not time limited. Then we add the water to our cup. These are the things that we like to do, but they're not really as important. And if we didn't get to them, it would be okay. So you can fit a lot more in your glass if you're intentional about how you fill it. So this is the same way that we could approach how we schedule out our lives. And we have to figure out how we can make more time for those big rocks. And the first step in doing this is being aware. We have to determine what is really important to you. So there are the important things like our going to work and things like that, but also knowing what's important to you that gives you energy. So knowing what you have to do that drains your energy, and also kind of knowing what are your time sucks. Is it Netflix? Is it social media? And then once you're aware of these different things, share these priorities with your support system. So I'm sure that you have family members that can help you out with this, where you can say, hey, it's really important to me that I get my horse time. I would like to schedule Tuesday nights that I go out and ride or I take a lesson. Can you help me do this? This is really important. And I'm sure your support system can help you make that happen. Then visualize to motivate. So when we start having those things where we're putting the water in first, think about what is the payoff of doing that activity and visualize what it'll be like if you don't do the activity. So think about what's it going to be like if you binge watch the entire season of Bridgerton on Netflix instead of going out and riding your horse in the snow on Saturday. So visualize what's the payoffs. It's a good show on Netflix. It's going to be relaxing. We're going to be entertained. We'll be inside where it's warm and cozy. But then also visualize what it's like if you don't do that activity. If I don't binge watch Netflix and instead I go out and do ride my horse in the snow, I'm going to be making progress on my horse goals. So using this visualize exercise will help to motivate you to put those big rocks, those pebbles, and the sand in your cup instead of filling it ahead of time with water. And then make a plan. Get out your calendar, your planner. It might be your app on your phone that you use to schedule yourself, but put those big rocks in your schedule first. And then also break down really big, overwhelming tasks into more manageable, smaller steps. So it could be instead of, if you're working on fixing something up in your house and you're thinking, okay, I want to remodel this, instead break it down and say, well, on this day, we're going to paint. On this day, we're going to redo this section. Breaking it down into smaller steps and then scheduling in those smaller things so it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Another idea is then to take action. What gets scheduled gets done. Just do it already. Put it on your calendar and then do it. And then the last little piece here is to make appointments with yourself and keep them. That example of telling your support system, your family that, hey, Tuesday nights, I have a lesson. Make that as an appointment with yourself and keep that appointment. We need to honor those appointments with ourselves just as much as we would honor those appointments with somebody else. That will really help you to be able to prioritize your big rocks. You need to do this to re-energize yourself, to take care of yourself so you have the energy to do the other things. Make sure that you make room in your cup for your big horse rock. And then if you're like me, you probably sometimes catch yourself in a time suck. So ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I sitting here on the couch watching Netflix when it's 2 p.m. and it's sunny out? What would happen if I didn't do this? What would happen if I went out and rode my horse instead? You can ask yourself, how does this activity support my goals? This is a really big motivating one when you catch yourself in that time suck. Like, is me scrolling through Facebook right now helping me support my goals? And then ask, does this need to be done right now? Maybe 2:00 on a sunny afternoon isn't the best time to be doing this. Maybe this could wait until after supper when I'm in and I'm done for the day. So asking, does this need to be done right now? And what is the best use of my time right now? And this will help get you out of that time suck mode and get you remotivated to getting back and working on your goals. So I hope that this helps you think about your life balance. Hope that this gives you some strategies for time management and reorganizing how you are prioritizing different things in your life, and gives you some ideas on how you can get yourself out of time sucks so that you can get out there and have more horse time, have your life be more in balance, so you can conserve your energy to really enjoy what you like to do most. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me and ask. and fill out these worksheets, answer these questions, fill out that life wheel, and really try to put this into practice in your life this week. Thank you very much, and get gritty.